Just ahead on CTV News, Chevrolet residents could receive some much-needed help toward flood mitigation.
In 2020, there's a horrible bout of flooding here in the town of Chevrolet. We had Route 50 that was shut down as well.
Good evening, I'm Byron Scott with a CTV News update. A wild scene near Joint Base Andrews is under investigation by the Office of the Maryland Attorney General. It happened yesterday at around 1:40 p.m. Prince George's police got a call about a black BMW chasing and firing shots at another vehicle in a suspected road rage incident. Several minutes later, Morningside police spotted the car on Suitland Road, but as the BMW approached Allentown Road, the driver lost control and struck another vehicle.
There were 3 occupants inside the vehicle that the BMW struck, an adult male who was taken to a local hospital with life-threatening injuries, and 2 juvenile patients that was taken to a local hospital, treated and released. The Attorney General's office is charged with investigating incidents where the individual may suffer critical injuries or death involving law enforcement. So at this point in time, our office is looking into the circumstances leading up to the crash.
And anyone who may have information leading up to the crash is asked to call the AG's office at the number on your screen. A Prince George's man leads Virginia and D.C. police on a wild chase in a stolen truck and an ambulance. 30-year-old Darrell Caldwell of Brandywine is facing federal, state, and other charges after more than a dozen hit-and-run crashes in the stolen ambulance alone. Caldwell allegedly stole a truck driving out of Northern Virginia, where it was involved in 2 accidents. He then fled on foot and stole an Arlington County ambulance while they were tending to victims of a second crash. The pursuit came to an end after he struck a parked car head-on at 14th and D Streets Northwest. 6 people were transported to area hospitals for minor injuries. Caldwell was rushed to a nearby hospital for medical evaluation. And Prince George's police are investigating a fatal shooting that took place early yesterday morning in Forestville. Police found 3 men suffering from gunshot wounds at about 1:30 in the morning on the 3700 block of Donnell Drive. They were rushed to a nearby hospital where 37-year-old Tyrone Thomas of District Heights was pronounced dead. The other 2 men remain hospitalized. Meantime, about 24 hours earlier, another shooting took place on the 9800 block of Piscataway Road in Clinton. Police found 16-year-old Robert Walker of Clinton fatally shot at the scene. If you have any information about any of these cases, you're asked to contact police. Well, a Montgomery County principal is accused of sexually assaulting and bullying by dozens of teachers, according to a Washington Post investigation. Educators and others reported Joe Beetleman to the school system 18 times over 7 years, while he worked in leadership positions at 3 local middle schools. Yet he was recently promoted to the principal of Paint Branch High School this past June. The school district placed Beetleman on extended leave last week after news reports were made public. Federal funding for a critical infrastructure passes a key U.S. Senate committee. The legislation includes fiscal year 2024 funding for a Chevrolet flood mitigation project. Chevrolet was hit hard in September of 2020 when it received more than 4 inches of rainfall in just 1 hour.
This is a huge opportunity for the town. Quite frankly, the town has put in money to remedy some of our issues. The state has also put up funds as well, and now we have our federal senators putting in support as well. This allows us to actually get a holistic plan for how we can prevent 100-year floods in the future. So this is a great opportunity for us to not only fix some of the old pipes that we have, but have a plan for the future.
The legislation must still pass both chambers of Congress and signed by the President before it can be enacted. And you're watching CTV News. I'm Byron Scott. Coming up, the DMV loses a legendary jazz icon. Details after the break. Stay tuned.
September 11th, I watched the towers come down. I made 3 phone calls that day. One was to my father to tell him I was okay. The second one was to my mother. And the third one was to my recruiter.
On September 11th, I was in the Pentagon when our country was attacked. I remember helping the injured to safety. I've met with thousands of wounded warriors. I promised them then, as we promise them today, our country will never forget their service and sacrifice.
It is an amazing honor to serve a great country.
I really do appreciate when people come up and tell me thank you for your service. And I'd do it all over again.
When America was attacked on September 11th, the bravest among us stepped forward to protect our country. Please give to those who gave so much for us.
I appreciate them and thank them so much.
Thank you. You are saving lives.
Please go to woundedwarriorproject.org today.
Jazz musicians across the DMV are mourning the loss of one of the greats. Tom Williams was known for his work on the trumpet and French horn, but he also played the drums. Williams, who also composed and recorded and spent time with the Duke Ellington Orchestra, Smithsonian Jazz Masterworks Orchestra, and he's performed with Patti LaBelle, the Barachi, and Stevie Wonder, to name a few. Williams died last week. He was scheduled to perform this Saturday at Tacoma Station Tavern with another trumpeter and a rhythm section. That show will still go on now as a tribute to Williams with Herman Burnett on bass.
And we're going to have, invite other people to come sit in, because a lot of people in the community know, love, and respect Tommy. I mean, this dude, man, first of all, man, he's a good dude. That's the first thing. Good man. And he's also good family. His dad, his mom, his kid, his wife, man, just good people, man. I can't say that enough. And then he's like just a heck of a musician, incredible musician, man. I mean, he definitely had some recordings under his own name with some great musicians, like world-class musicians playing on his records. And he, again, played with a lot of people at that level. He was at that level, no question about it. Slick, concise ideas, very worked out, logical, melodic, harmonic, all of rhythmic, all of those things, man. He had it.
And the tribute show is set for this Saturday at Tacoma Tavern Station in D.C. from 7 to 10 p.m. For more information, go to tacomastation.com. Well, an update on a story we covered last week about a Greenbelt attempted carjacking. Police releasing these surveillance photos of the incident. They need your help identifying these three suspects wanted for allegedly shooting a man in the head and neck during an attempted carjacking last Thursday morning. The victim is now listed in stable condition. And Maryland's tax-free shopping officially kicked off yesterday. You can save on clothes, shoes, diapers, and book bags during the back-to-school season. Items for $100 or less, as well as the first $40 spent on backpacks and book bags, are eligible. Certain online purchases are also eligible. Tax-free week runs through August 19th. For more information, go to marylandtaxes.gov. And still ahead on CTV News, for some this may feel the hottest summer ever. Well, you might be right. That story and more, and sports, after the break.
Bottles and formula?
Got it.
Extra diapers?
Not making that mistake again. Got it.
Extra set of clothes?
So many extra sets. Got it.
A 3-day supply of non-perishable food for each person in your household in case the power goes out? You may be prepared for a lot of situations, but a natural disaster might not be one of them. Convoy of Hope's free disaster preparedness guide can help make sure you and your family are ready when disaster strikes. The guide will help you develop a communication plan, determine an evacuation route, and prepare for unexpected catastrophes. Visit convoy.org/prepare to download the guide and learn how you and your family can stay safe if the unexpected happens. Convoy of Hope, providing hope in every storm.
I don't think all that's going to fit in there.
In sports, the Flowers High School football squad is definitely a team to look out for this coming season. The Jaguars will try and get back to the state championship game and take care of business this time round, as they fell to Quince Orchard High School last year, 32-7. Flowers recently began practicing for the start of the season, and head coach Damian Powell likes what he sees.
Man, they're some hard-working young individuals. We're coming together as a team. Those guys are very talented. Once we start gelling, it's going to be hard to beat us.
And Powell has been the head coach of the Flowers football team for almost a decade, and during that time he's impacted many players. CTV talked with a couple of players about his impact on them.
Coach Powell's like a father to me. I started, my first sport was wrestling. He was my wrestling coach. He used to take me to my matches. He used to work me every day.
Coach Pease, he always seemed like, just a great father figure, you want to have, very mature. He teaches us to be grown from boys to men. So how cliche it sounds, but that's just what it is. He teaches us, the right from wrongs, just make sure we're doing the right thing when no one's looking.
Flowers' season will begin against Alphalton High School on August 25th. And switching to the NFL, the Washington Commanders played their first preseason game over the weekend against the Cleveland Browns, and fans were able to catch a quick glimpse of the team's starters. A group of starters in particular Commanders fans were able to see were the ones from the offensive line. The O-line was a weakness for the Commanders last year, as they ranked near the bottom of the league. And head coach Ron Rivera gave his thoughts on how the starters performed in the game.
Getting the quarter. First and foremost, as they got more comfortable, you started to see them settle down, see the communication really picked up, especially in that last drive. I think early on, there probably were a couple of things that needed to be corrected, especially some of the techniques, some of the individual techniques, about making sure we're getting a good vertical set. We're not opening our hips. We're lowering our targets, stuff like that. Those are detailed things that I think as these guys continue to work and work their techniques and work their communication together, I think they're going to improve. And as I said, when you look at the third drive they were out there for, you saw some positive things, especially the way they finished it.
The Commanders will take the field next against the Baltimore Ravens on August 21st. Well, July 2023 is the hottest month on record ever since 1880. That's according to new data released by NASA. The agency says July was 0.43 degrees warmer than the previous record set in 2019. Parts of South America, North Africa, North America, and the Antarctic Peninsula were especially hot, experiencing temperatures increases of around 7.2 above average. Also, global ocean surface temps have hit a record high.
The fourth consecutive month, the global ocean surface temperatures hit a record high as El Niño conditions that emerged in June continued into July. Over 40% of the ocean is currently experiencing marine heat wave, with our predictions showing that could continue into the fall or even expand. Meanwhile, in the far south, Antarctic sea ice coverage ranked the lowest on record for the third consecutive month, contributing to the July 2023 setting a record for the lowest global July sea ice extent on record.
Data from NASA show that the 5 hottest July since 1880 have all happened in the past 5 years. Let's get a quick check now at our 3-day weather forecast. Tonight, thunderstorms with possible hail and a tornado are possible after 5 p.m. with a low around 75. Tomorrow, partly sunny with a high around 88. Wednesday, sunny with a high near 86. And Thursday, partly sunny with a high near 89. Well, the school year is just around the corner, and CTV needs your help getting students ready with our backpack and school supplies drive. We need your help get students ready with the supplies they need for a successful school year. You can donate items listed on your screen from now until August 21st. For more information on how you can help out, I should say, call 301-773 extension 0900 extension 222. And that's our news for tonight. I'm Byron Scott. We'll see you tomorrow night. Good night.